Hi, and welcome back to The Bias Cut. Today, we're just going to be talking about the books that we're reading currently and maybe the books that we're planning on reading in the future. If you're new here, we are a channel that talks about the intersections of fashion and history, and sometimes we just do relaxed videos like this. So if you are interested, please subscribe and join us on our journey. Do you want to start off with the books that you're reading? Are you currently in like a reading slump at all? Or are you kind of like feeling good about reading as of
I've
late?
been in a really big reading slump, and I have had
Oh,
my let me tell you. I have
yeah.
had my Libby holds, and then I check them out. Like, I've had on hold for months, and then I
Yes.
finally get them, and I'm like, "I'm gonna read it," and then the hold runs out, and I never
Yes.
read it. But one thing that is currently curing my reading slump is I
Hmm.
have been reading the Off-Campus book series.
Oh my gosh, yes, yes.
Yes. So
Are they any good? I'm like,
Um, I think that they're fun. They're certainly
hmm.
fun. Sometimes, like,
Yeah.
I think they were originally written in, like, 2015. So sometimes the way they
Okay.
talk is, like, triggering
Yes.
for me as, like, a older Gen Z, but they are a lot of fun. I'm almost finished with the second one, which is John Logan and Grace's book. So here's the thing, in the show, they've
Okay.
switched it all
Okay.
about. So I started watching the show, and then I was like, "This show's so
Yeah.
fun," which it is.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It
"I'll read the
is.
books because I need something to read and I need to, like, break out of a reading slump." Here's the thing. People recommend different things for a reading slump. For me, I always need to have something short and quick and fun. I love a Bridgerton
Yes.
book to get me out of a reading slump. It's
Yes.
snappy, I enjoy it.
A
Quick
hundred
read, I can get it
percent.
done in a couple days. But I'm burning through those too quick.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to have these. So the first book is about Kiara and Hannah, and then the second book is about John Logan and Grace, who Grace is not in the
Okay.
show yet because they've switched it all about. So
Yeah, I
next
was
season of the
wondering about
show,
that.
yeah, next
Okay.
season of the show is going to be Dean and Allie, but they're actually the third
Okay. Yeah,
book.
yeah.
So I'm almost done
Okay.
with John Logan and Grace's book, and then I'm really excited. I already have it ready on Libby, Dean and Allie's book. So
Yes.
I'm breaking out of my reading slump, having a great old time.
Yes. That just like reminds me exactly of when Heated Rivalry came out. I
Hmm.
was in the biggest reading slump ever because if you're new around here, at the end of the year, Maggie and I both moved back to the States from Scotland, and I was back home. I like had all my books around me, but I wasn't feeling inspired. And then Heat of Rivalry came out, and I was like, you know what? I'm similar to you. If I'm in a
Hmm.
reading slump, I need something short, quick, fun. And I started reading the Heated Rivalry series. I think I read maybe 4 of the books. So I did
Wow.
the ones that are about Shane and Ilya,
Hmm.
and then 2 additional ones that are about like side characters. And it was just so much fun. It was like
Hmm.
kind of into January. It was so cozy and fun, and yeah.
Yeah. And, like, here's the thing. I try not to be a book snob.
Oh yeah,
I consider
100%.
myself to be the farthest from a book snob. However,
Yes.
before this, I have not delved into the cartoon cover romance genre. That's become really big over the
Okay,
last few years.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and
yes,
I will say and, like, shame on me. Shame on
yeah,
me. I have
yeah,
felt kind of an aversion to that. I see those in the bookstore at
yes,
the library,
yes,
and I'm like,
yeah. It's a
but,
bit intense because there are
it's
so many of them.
there's so many of them. But I will say off-campus
Hmm.
show has,
Yeah.
like, opened my heart to it, and now it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, shame on me. I judged a book by its
Yes.
cover, and now I have a whole new genre to enjoy. Ooh, another thing I'm reading right now, well, here's the thing, I'm
Hmm.
not reading it, I'm listening to it, which I think counts. I
Yes.
think on this pod,
A
we
hundred percent.
are for the accessibility of an audiobook. I have been listening to Lena Dunham's new memoir, Famesick.
Oh, how
Yeah,
is that?
it is phenomenal. She is a genius.
Really,
She is
really.
yeah. Have you watched Girls?
I think I watched the first and second season, but I've never
Mhm.
finished it.
Yeah, you don't have to know the
Okay.
plot of Girls, obviously, for this
Yeah.
book, but you know the vibe of Girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
She has lived an insane life, just truly incredible. I do think maybe this is controversial. I think she
Mhm.
might be the voice of a generation, to reference
Whoa.
Girls. Like, every time she opens her mouth, I'm just like, She is insane too, but in a way that I really
Yes.
love. She posted a TikTok a little while back where she's like, everyone complains about adult acne, but when I get a pimple, it's like, wow, I'm still in touch with the profundity of youth. It's like falling in love for the first time. And I'm like, wow.
Yes.
Like when she
Yes.
talks, I listen, I'm quiet. Yes, I'm about halfway through her book, and I
Mhm.
love an audiobook for a memoir, particularly a celebrity
Yeah,
memoir.
yeah.
I think they're so fun because I feel like they're just like telling me their story, you know? Another one I read
Mhm.
listen to, was From Here to the Great Unknown, which is Riley
Ooh.
Keough. I don't know how you say her last name. And Lisa
Yeah.
Marie Presley. It's Elvis's daughter and
Oh, okay.
granddaughter. They wrote a book together. Well,
Yeah.
Lisa was writing a book before she passed, and Riley like picked it up and finished it about her life and her mother. So it includes passages
Mhm.
that her mother wrote and passages that she wrote. And again, like that
Oh,
is a
wow.
crazy interesting
That
time.
sounds
Like
so
I love
powerful.
it's really powerful. Like, you know, they talk about Elvis,
Yeah.
they talk about like Lisa was married to Michael Jackson for a few years. Like
Really?
she was in those circles,
Whoa.
and fantastic book. Really would recommend. And that's another
Wow.
one I listened to because it was narrated both by Lisa and by Riley. Another genre I love. I love because I was a TLC kid. My mom would always
Mhm.
watch TLC.
Oh,
Were
same.
you? Yeah.
Same.
I
Big
love
TLC kid.
a former TLC star writing a memoir. At the beginning of this
I
year,
didn't
I
know that this
listened to
existed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So at the beginning of this year, I listened to Jill Duggar's memoir. I think it's called Counting the
Oh my
Cost,
gosh.
and
Okay, I
that
heard
one was
about this. Yes.
crazy. We've talked about that family before. You can go watch the Rotten Mango videos on it if you
Literally.
or one of the many documentaries, but like, yeah, that was one we watched as
Yes.
kids. Another one, did you ever watch The Sister Wives? That was a
Oh,
good one.
100%.
One of the
Yes.
sister wives, I get them all mixed up. I'm sorry. Yes, it's Christine. She who has since divorced the man. She wrote a book. We'll have to flash it up here because I forgot what it's called, but that one was really good. I think that was the first book I read this year, and it was crazy.
Okay.
And coming out this fall,
Ooh.
this one, I'm the most excited for this one. Colin Gosselin is
Ooh.
releasing a book, and he is one of the 8 of John and Kate plus 8.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Wait. This is actually kind of crazy just because I feel like for the Duggars and then also the sister wife situation, I feel like over the years we've kind of like heard about, especially the Duggars, we've heard about like stuff
Mhm.
going on in those families. John and Kate plus 8, I don't know, maybe I'm not tapped in. I feel like it's been radio silence since they left
Yeah.
TLC. I could be wrong though.
Well, I'm like sort of tuned in and I have heard different things over the
Okay.
years, but like just
Okay.
whispers here. And you need to look up this book cover so you can see it because the cover is
Yes. Oh my gosh,
crazy.
yeah, let
And
me
we'll
look
flash
it
it up
up.
on screen. It's by Colin Gosselin and it's called In the Shadow of 8: Surviving the Reality of My Childhood.
So wait, what,
Mhm.
he got sent away? What happened?
Yeah. I don't really know. I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
subreddit. I'm not too tuned into this family. More of a Duggar Snark fan
Same with
myself.
me.
But
Same.
he was sent away to his dad, and I think maybe I don't know. It was said he had behavioral issues, but then other people are like, I think it's just
Oh boy.
ADHD. This is all, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. Like, I'm not totally sure what happened. Of any of the kids to write a memoir, this is the kid I need to hear
A
from. Like, whatever
hundred
he is comfortable
percent.
sharing, I will read.
Yes. Not to like sensationalize it at all. It's
Mhm.
just, I think with TLC, you almost want to, at least, and I'm sure it's the same way for you want to hear these stories of what actually happened. Because even watching the shows when you were younger, you knew that like things weren't as happy
No.
as it seemed. Like there was
Mhm.
always a very sinister energy. And so hearing, especially from like the kids or in the situation of the sister wives, like one of the sister wives, I want to know that they're honestly okay now. I'm like, I need
Mhm.
them to be away from their like toxic parents, from their
Yeah.
like toxic partners, whatever, and that
Mhm.
they're totally fine and they're able to
Yeah.
heal from the
That's You
wounds
should
of,
definitely
yeah.
read the sister wife one though, because that one has like a happy ending.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Okay.
she's
Good.
good
Good.
now. Yeah, she really
Good.
overcame
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to what I'm reading, I recently went on a trip to Canada with my family, and I kind of wanted to set a theme for my book reading for the trip.
Ooh,
And
I love
wanted it
that.
to, yeah, I wanted it to be, so I was looking through my bookshelf because my reading goal for this year is just reading books that I have on my shelf. I'm not doing anything else.
I need
I'm
to do
like, I
that.
have all of these books. I need to get through these. And so I was looking through and I realized I had a couple books that were about environmentalism, sustainability, kind of like,
Ooh.
the natural world. And so I was like, that's going to be my lakeside reading vibe. And so I started reading Braiding Sweetgrass, and it's totally changed my life. I've had it on my shelf for years now. Braiding Sweetgrass is by Robin Wall Kimmerer. The subtitle is Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teaching of Plants. And she's a botanist, but then is also a poet. So her writing style is so like you're kind of going through it's more storytelling, and then mixed in it is some kind of it's very like scientific knowledge about plants and about how they grow and how they kind of interact in the wildlife together. It's a beautiful book. Yeah, I'm like, I want to recommend it to everyone ever, even though it's like, I feel like everyone talks about this book. I'm definitely not bringing anything new to the table, but it's incredible. I love it. And again, it's very like storytelling. So you can kind of read each chapter separately, and you don't really have to you don't have to carry on to the next chapter. You can kind of read it in like short chunks because each chapter is its entirely own story, which is really fun. And then additionally to that, I've been reading this book. It's called Rituals for Climate Change: A Crip Struggle for Eco-Justice by Naomi Ortiz, and it's all poetry and some kind of like very, very short stories all about climate change. There was a really good poem that I read a couple days ago in here that was just talking about having mobility being part of your disability and just wanting to use plastic cups because they don't break when you drop them on the ground. Just like fun story being like, I want to be eco-friendly and have non-plastic items, but I have to have plastic cups because I keep on dropping cups. It's a nice like bedtime. You read a couple poems before bed and then you're done.
I have never gotten really into the poetry genre, but I feel like I have not been like looking at the right things. So I'll have to check that out. I think that could be really fun.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
like it. I also have never really gotten into poetry. And then one of my friends recommended that book to me. And so I actually, Amanda got it for my birthday because I've been talking about it. And I started reading it, and poetry can be pretty fun and pretty cool. Yeah, so that's what I'm currently reading. Okay, a couple books that I'm wanting to read in the future, in the near future.
Yeah,
I need
good
to,
idea.
after I finish these two books, I need to not be reading nonfiction. I feel like I go back and forth between, I read a nonfiction book and then I go through like a couple fiction books and I kind of go back and forth. So I have a couple books on my bookshelf that I was like, this would be interesting. This one called Northwood or Woods
Ooh.
by Daniel Mason. And I can read the little jacket cover. When two young lovers abscond from a Puritan colony, little do they know that their humble cabin in the woods will become the home of an extraordinary succession of human and non-human characters alike. An English soldier, destined for glory, abandons the battlefields of the New World to devote himself to growing apples. A pair of spinster twins navigate war and famine, envy and desire. A crime reporter unearths an ancient mass grave, only to discover that the Earth refuses to give up its secrets. A lovelorn painter, a sinister con man, a stalking panther, and a lusty beetle. As the inhabitants confront the wonder and mystery around them, they begin to realize that the dark, beautiful past is very much alive.
Ooh.
So it's kind of like fantasy-ish adjacent and mystical and
Yeah.
weird.
That sounds
And I've had
fun.
I've had it on my shelf for a while and I'd like to read it. And then the next book, this is going to be hard for me because so this is Parable of the Talents by Octavia Butler. I read Parable of the Sower like years ago and I didn't like the way that it ended. Have you heard of Parable of the Sower?
I haven't.
Okay, so it's basically like kind of a sci-fi dystopian book that was It came out in Parable of the Talents was published 1998. So Parable of the Sower came out like a couple years before that. And it was like a early sci-fi dystopian book that basically like our current world breaks down and people are like living hiding in their homes and they're kind of like vigilantes all over the place. And so basically society is just crumbling and it's this character's big trek out west to basically find some type of like sanctuary to live. And so there's a lot of like environmental disasters happening. It's very much so early predictions of climate change. And so Parable of the Talents is the second book in it. I got the second book when I had read the first book and I kind of want to finish it because people talk about this series and I want to see if I can finish it up. So I'm going to try it and read that at some point too.
Yeah, cool. I remembered another book I'm reading. I have been reading on my Kindle, The Tempest Blade by Danielle L.
Ooh.
Jensen. So this is the 6th book in the Bridge Kingdom series. And the Bridge Kingdom series is kind of like a little, it's not quite fantasy per se,
Okay.
but it kind of does like, it does fall adjacent to like that romantasy genre, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. So these books came out, they're still coming out. Like this one just came out. Well, this is the last one. It's done. But if you are a romantasy enjoyer like I am, the ACOTARs, the Fourth Wings,
Yes.
the lot of that, you might, this is kind of shade, but you might have noticed something in the last few years since ACOTAR and Throne of Glass have like really blown up. Like they've been big.
Yeah.
I'd say in the last like 3 or 4 years, they've like exploded. And sometimes
Yes.
it kind of feels like every book released in the genre since then has been just an ACOTAR ripoff. But
Yes. Yeah.
but like not understanding the things that we enjoyed about ACOTAR.
Yes.
And just no fun. But these started coming out before that. So these are in the genre, but definitely they do not feel like they are trying to like rip off that at all. But they are similar. If you're a Sarah J. Maas fan, they're more similar to Throne of Glass than they are to ACOTAR. Like a lot of world building, a lot of like politics. So I'll tell you what it's about. First one, it's a series and like eventually, you know, it branches off and it talks about other people and whatnot. The first book is called The Bridge Kingdom and it's about this girl named Lara. She's a princess and she has been raised as an assassin since birth for the purpose of they have an alliance with the other kingdom that she will go and like marry their king and become their queen. But her king dad wants her to go in and be an assassin and like take over. But do you think maybe she'll fall in love with him instead? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of one of those like, ooh. But those were recommended to me by my friend Annie last summer. And I was like, an assassin princess. Say less. Like I'm in.
I'm there.
I'm there. And yeah, they're really fun. I've been really enjoying them.
I love that.
And I would definitely recommend those to anyone who enjoys that genre.
You've influenced me because I read ACOTAR when it was like first coming out, and then throughout the years as the new books have been published, I've been keeping up with them. And then I also read part of Crescent City, but I've never read Throne of Glass, which I know I need to read because I know that that's like the best.
That's the best
her
one.
series. I know. It's just okay. So here's what happened for me. I read ACOTAR because Amanda and Katie had read it, or like they had read the first book, and they were like, "You need to read this." So I was like, okay, cool. And so that's how we all got into her. And then Amanda and Katie branched away and read Throne of Glass. They did the whole thing. I'm someone who I like to read romantasy here and there. I'm not a consistent fan, but if a book hooks me, I'm like, I'm there, I'm addicted, I'm in. And I think what happened was after ACOTAR, so many copycats came out after that.
Yeah.
And I got burned so many times by the copycats that I was like, I'm done. And then also Crescent City like pissed me off in the second book, and I was like, I think I'm just done with this. But I'm feeling inspired by this book just because it was written before, or kind of maybe around the same time as like ACOTAR.
Around the same time / after, but before ACOTAR like blew up, and then every author was trying to copy it. Shade, no shade. I don't know, a little bit of shade. Well, do the people in the chat want me to talk about my very controversial ACOTAR opinions? My very controversial Crescent City opinions. So I have a very, very controversial ACOTAR ship that is getting me massive hate in the subreddit. Hear me out. And spoilers,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. Maybe, because I might be totally wrong, but I think it's gonna be spoilers. I
Okay,
think
okay.
that Bryce from Crescent City, I think her endgame is not Hunt, but Asriel from ACOTAR.
See, I don't know why that's controversial. Just because, like,
Right?
I totally see it. Because, like, okay, the whole, like,
Mm-hmm.
what's her sister? What's Nesta's sister's name? What is Eloise?
Feyre,
No.
Elaine.
Elaine, yeah. People are
Mm-hmm.
like Elaine and Azriel. No. If Elaine never gets with anyone, can we be happy for her? Can we be
Yeah.
happy that maybe she's just
Mm-hmm.
alone? I can see Bryce and Azriel so like
Thank you.
when you told me that, I was like, no, yeah,
No,
100%.
yeah, it makes perfect sense. Well, the first I'd heard about it,
Because
I was like,
Hunt
"What?"
sucks.
We're Hunt haters in this on this
We're
pod.
big Hunt haters.
Here's the thing. I think he's fine. He's fine, but he does not compare to
Yeah.
Reese, to the main lead from Throne of
Yes.
Glass, and I won't spoil it who it is because it changes a few times. Does not compare to that man. What you can do is
Yeah.
you can go on Reddit. I use Reddit
Mhm.
very scarcely, but you can go on r/Bryce Reel. They'll tell you all about it. It's a great community. They have all the info there. If you look, it's in the text. It makes perfect sense. It's all in the text, guys.
It's written in the
Everyone,
text,
and
guys.
and did Sarah J. Maas say on the podcast that it's not happening? Yeah, but she's lied
She's a
before.
liar. She's a
She's a
liar, guys. She's a
She's not
liar.
going to spoil her own books. This is a huge plot twist that
No.
she's been building up for. And also, if it's not going to be canon, I can still ship it. I'm allowed. There's not a law against that.
And you know what's open to you? AO3. Create the world that you want.
Speaking of which, I'm going to need you Bryce Reel authors to get on that because there's only a few and
Yes.
I need some more. Clock in.
I need more content. This is an open call to all AO3 fanfiction writers. This is your moment to make something really beautiful for Maggie. A story that's very beautiful for Maggie.
Thank you. If it's not made canon in October, which I am reaching like the levels of delusion where I think it will be. Um I'm like so certain about this, guys. You have no idea why I am
Yes.
so certain. Or if it's not, I'm being gaslit by a lot of people if it's not gonna happen. By Sarah J. Maas and a lot of other people. But no,
Yeah.
I'm a diehard.
I believe it. I believe it so much, and I want it for you, and I'm rooting for it. I also want to know. Let us know in the comments. What are your controversial ships? I want to know who
No.
people are shipping
In ACOTAR or
like,
anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. Are there other controversial ships besides Bryce Reel? Because I've been so like tunnel visioned on the Bryce Reel lately. So I want something that feels inspired, you know? I don't want like a
Exactly.
lazy just like pairing up whoever with who. And
Yeah.
when you go to r/Bryce Reel to learn about Bryce Reel, or when we make our video, everyone will see like, oh, this is inspired. It was like, this has to happen and it makes perfect sense and everything is aligning. Perfect.
Oh, I love this. All right, y'all. Well, that's what we have for you today. Let us know all of your thoughts and opinions about ACOTAR, about Sarah J. Maas, about any of the other books. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we will see you next week.